All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Good morning and happy race day, and welcome to our very first NASCAR quick hit here on SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame on Discord, and we are about to break down NASCAR's greatest race of the season, the Daytona 500. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give a little plug here. I'm new to this, so let me scroll down here to our DGen promo. 1 second, guys. I swear I practiced this and now I can't find it. Here we go. Code DGen15. If you are living under a rock, perhaps you have not heard of SHIPIT Nation and DGen75 merging. So if you are not already a member over at SHIPIT Nation, please go ahead and check out those membership plans over at shipitnation.com and use code DGen15 for 15% off any membership. Okay. So if you're familiar with DGen75, he used to only cover golf, PGA, or golf is PGA, PGA, NFL, and college football. Well, now with the merger with SHIPIT Nation, now we cover all of the sports. NFL, NBA, PGA, MMA, which UFC 298 is happening right now as I'm recording this quick hit video, NHL, MLB, college football, and of course NASCAR, which we're going to be breaking down this morning. So once again, that is code DGen15 over at shipitnation.com for 15% off any plan. So let's go ahead here, and I think if I just do this and then I do this, look at that, it looks nice. Perfect. All right, everybody, we are going to break down the 2024 Daytona 500. Before we go over the brand new stone for NASCAR, let's go ahead and discuss where you actually watch the race. I'm assuming we have some new NASCAR fans watching this stream this morning. So the race in America will be on Fox. And for our great friends in Canada, the race is going to be on TSN4, and the pre-race coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Now, while I am recording this, I did want to quickly mention that there is inclement weather in Daytona. In fact, today's Xfinity race has already been canceled and been pushed to Monday. So there is a chance that today's Daytona 500 gets rain delayed or pushed to Monday. That will not affect anything with what we're discussing today. Our plays and strategy stays the same. However, if there is any late breaking news concerning the slate, I will make sure to update the Discord channel. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the slate. Daytona 500. Okay, what is it? If you're new, etc., etc. It is the quote unquote Super Bowl of NASCAR, and it happens on what's known as a super speedway racetrack. Okay, there's 4 types of tracks in NASCAR: super speedways, intermediates, road courses, and short tracks. Super speedways are really your lottery of NASCAR. Okay. Most weeks we're going to be talking about potential dominators, drivers we think who might lead the most laps or have a lot of fast laps, potential dominators of the race. Not this week. That is not a thing at all this week. Okay. In fact, the only thing we are focused on for the Daytona 500 and really any super speedway race in general is place differential. Okay. Place differential. I am very confidently when I build all of my lineups here in a few short hours, going to click off any driver who starts within the top 15. Okay. That means some heavy hitters, to be honest with you. You have Joey Logano, who comes in at 9,200 on DraftKings. He's the pole sitter. Denny Hamlin, 10,000 on DraftKings. He's starting 8th. Chase Elliott, NASCAR's most popular driver, he's starting 5th. I'm fading all of these drivers, okay? Because the name of the game is simply place differential. At racetracks like Daytona, and they are racing essentially in a large pack at all times. Okay. An accident can happen at any time and it can take out half of the field. If there is a lottery in NASCAR or in DFS, a true lottery, it is these super speedway races. And in fact, we in the Discord over at the SHIPIT Nation Discord watched the truck race on Friday evening, and some were quite amazed at the number of incidents in that race. Now, I don't expect 12 cautions in this Daytona 500. However, I do expect a few multi-car crashes that will greatly change lineups around. So, moving on here from considering the fact that we're fading the top 15, we really want to focus on drivers starting 16th through 40th with a big, big, big lean on drivers starting 20th through 40th. Okay. If you are mass multi-entering, if you are playing the Millie Maker, if you're entering 150 lineups, you may want to consider giving a driver that's starting between 15th and 20th a little bit of exposure, because there is some heavy hitters in there. Starting 15th, starting 16th, I believe. Where is he at here? Brad Keselowski, I believe, is starting 16th, if I could find him. Yes. So Brad Keselowski is starting 16th. He is an excellent super speedway racer. I wrote about him, I believe, in the core report or slate report over on SHIPIT Nation's website. I forget the name of which one I wrote him on, but he is an excellent super speedway driver. Almost made it into victory lane last season, didn't quite get there. Starts 16th today. I'll have some shares of him, not a lot, but I will have some shares. The same goes for Kyle Larson. He rolls off 17th. He's a Hendrick Motorsports driver. If you're not familiar with Kyle Larson, he is one of the best race car drivers in the world. He can jump in any car and drive it to the best of his abilities, and get the most out of that car. He's not known for being the best super speedway racer. However, he is starting 17th. He is in A plus tier 1, the best equipment at Hendrick Motorsports. It's hard for me to click off of Kyle Larson every week. And I won't this week. I just won't have a lot of him. Okay. So focusing now on our bread and butter drivers are our 21st through or 20th through 40th place, okay, including what will be the chalk of the race. And the chalk of the race here will be the driver starting in the 32nd and 34th position, which is Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. Two quick thoughts on them. Ryan Blaney, who is starting 32nd, is the 2023 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. Actually, NASCAR Cup champion. I don't think it's not Sprint Cup anymore. NASCAR Cup champion. And he has the best average finish on next gen super speedway tracks since they've switched to the next gen car, which is the 2022 season. Okay. He starts 32nd. He is a popular driver. We expect him to be very heavily owned, but for good reason. He is a good play. And the same goes for Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is chasing his first Daytona 500 victory. He's starting 34th today. Fun fact, last year, he actually crossed the finish line at the 500-mile mark of the Daytona 500. However, that happened during NASCAR overtime, and an accident happened. And I believe one or two more accidents happened after the fact, and he finished then, I think, 14th or 15th. So Kyle Busch, great play, very popular on this slate, starting 34th. Someone else or two other drivers I want to focus on. One who I consider a cash play, but who's just really a good play all around, is David Reagan. David Reagan is starting 40th, which is dead last. He cannot lose us any points this week. He comes incredibly cheap at 6,500. He is also in a RFK, which is Roush Fenway Keselowski racing car, which is what Brad Keselowski is also driving. And he's a pretty good super speedway driver. He's a part-time driver now, had 2 super speedway victories back in the 20 teens. I think one was maybe 2011 to 2013, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. And he ran a few super speedway races over the past few years for Rick Ware Racing, and he was solid. I don't expect him to necessarily win the race tomorrow or today, but I think he's going to get us some pretty good place differential points. So he's definitely going to be pretty heavily owned in my lineups. Also, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in the back here. He starts 35th. And for the super speedway racer he is, I don't think he's going to get as much ownership as Ryan Blaney or Kyle Busch. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is last year's Daytona 500 champion and has won 1 or 2 super speedway races other than that. In fact, all of his victories, I think, which is 3 throughout his career, have come on super speedways. There's heavy hitters here in the back, like I mentioned earlier, with Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. I kind of think Ricky Stenhouse is going to get overlooked. And he starts 35th, which is 3 spots behind Blaney and 1 spot behind Kyle Busch. And one more driver that I wanted to mention is Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon starts 33rd and is the teammate of Kyle Busch. Austin had a terrible 2023 season. However, he is a previous Daytona 500 winner. He does give us place differential. He is in the same equipment as Kyle Busch, and he has got it done here in the past. Okay, so don't be afraid to click on Austin Dillon's name. One other driver who I actually did not have wrote down here, but I did want to highlight since I'm looking at the stone, is Riley Herbst. Okay, Riley Herbst is dirt cheap, $5,100, starts 36th. He is a good little super speedway racer. He's raced a few races in the Cup Series, and I believe has 2 top 10s in super speedways. And even though this is a Rick Ware racing car, it's actually prepared by Stuart Haas Racing. Okay, so not that salary is any concern at all this week. If you are looking for a punt play, so to speak, Riley Herbst starting 36 is probably going to get overlooked. And if he can manage his way through the accidents, could end up looking pretty nicely in your lineups here at the end of the day. So that's everything that I have for now for this NASCAR quick hit video. Like I said, this is our very first one here at SHIPIT Nation, the very first one of the NASCAR season, and the very first one I've ever done. In fact, I was planning to go on camera, but my green screen didn't come today like it was supposed to, and I didn't want you guys seeing the clutter that is behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and bid you guys good night. Once again, or rather, good morning. So once again, though, if you forgot, please, if you have not yet subscribed to SHIPIT Nation or have considered subscribing to SHIPIT Nation, now's the time. SHIPITNation.com, code DGEN15 gets you 15% off any plan, which includes NFL, NBA, PGA, MMA, NHL, MLB, college football, and of course, our favorite sport, NASCAR. All right. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I am going to be in the Discord all day today. If soon as I get any notification that the race may be rain delayed, I will let everybody know. And let's have ourselves a day. Let's go ahead and let's ship it, everybody.